Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and in this video we dive into an in-depth look at the recent Little Nightmares 2 demo, The Hospital. This preview will break down key moments found in the demo, analyse some hidden lore, and uncover the secrets hidden within. So sit back, relax, and let's explore this haunting locale in a little more detail. To begin, let's take a look at Six and Mono in this new game and how they interact with one another. During gameplay, we can command Mono to call out to Six at any time with a simple button press. Upon doing so, the two begin communicating in hushed voices. Check it out. This is useful as many of the traversal mechanics and puzzles found in this sequel revolve around teamwork and communication. See here for example, where Six gives Mono a boost up into the window of this door frame. But it doesn't end there. Six will also shorten the length of tasks by lending a helping hand. This is done intuitively by her AI, meaning we don't always need to spell things out for her. See for example this scene where we need to carry two power cores over to the elevator panel, and Six naturally brings one over to save us from backtracking. Humorous and horrifying events can unfold when Six is left idle for too long. In this scene, when we return to where Mono last left her after taking a slight detour, we discover Six has vanished. She hasn't gone too far though, and can be found in a nearby room, bending and breaking the fingers of this mannequin arm in sadistic fashion. Notice how angry she seems, her eyes glaring at her twisted handiwork even after she stands. This gives us a window into Six's mental state during gameplay without ever taking control away from the player, and is chillingly effective. While Six does not possess the strength to attack, instead leaving combat up to Mono, at least in this demo, she will at times aid him during battle. In this sequence here, she holds an enemy at bay as it attempts to break down a door, and when her efforts fail, desperately pulls down planks in a bid to forge a new exit, all while we control Mono in combat. We've touched on combat in this sequel, so how is it? Well, even in this early build of the game, fighting enemies feels weighty and simple. There's no complicated combos to learn or light versus heavy attacks. Everything is controlled through one button on the controller. It seems the speed at which Mono can swing a weapon and the damage dealt will depend on the object he wields. In the demo, we use both a hammer and a pipe, so swinging is slow yet powerful. It feels satisfying thanks to some amazing animation and audio work. For example, every swing that connects with his severed hand makes for a brutal, wince-inducing crunch. It is even possible to smash these hands after defeating them, breaking the bones inside and causing them to deform into painful looking shapes. It's pretty gruesome. Combat is useful, but can only be used when weapons are provided and on smaller enemies at that. In the demo, the only monster we can tackle during combat is the severed hand. There are several of these creepy reanimated body parts on the prowl throughout the hospital, and they move at lightning fast speed, scuttling around like spiders and rearing up to leap at our hapless heroes. If we aren't quick enough, then they wrap themselves around Mono and crush him in seconds. Unlike the mannequins, these severed hands appear to have originated from real people. We can see they have actual skin and fleshy stumps. Something strange is going on inside this hospital, something which allows for the reanimation of singular body parts. While severed hands are certainly creepy, they are nothing on the main enemy we encounter throughout this demo, the mannequins. These creepy figures stand about in various states of disrepair, cobbled together from many of the spare parts found around the hospital. Not all of them are active however, so it's impossible to know which ones will spring to life until we pass them by. Once they do activate, Mono has a very short window to react and must counter by shining the beam of his flashlight upon them. It seems bright light freezes these mannequins to the spot. They are unable to move unless shrouded by darkness. The game takes advantage of this to offer up some tense moments as we back towards the nearest exit, doing our best to keep our mechanical pursuers at bay. Of course, we don't always have the luxury of being able to stop and use our flashlight. Check out this sequence here, for example, showcasing how mannequins can overwhelm Mono, making a fast escape the only viable option. We can only speculate as to how exactly these mannequins were brought to life. Several details should be mentioned: the morgue full of human bodies found later on in this stage, and the fact this hospital contains both holding cells and surgical tables, neither of which have been used for legitimate purposes, like actually healing the sick. Then we have this strange room with an electric chair, facing a spiral-like pattern on the wall and a unit to monitor brainwave frequency. All of this suggests the hospital has been used as a place for Frankenstein-like human experimentation, where the bodies of the dead have been recycled and reanimated, the brains and organs placed inside mannequin bodies and used to raise them to life. The final enemy we encounter is only shown for a few seconds before we cut to black and the demo closes out. It is almost certainly the boss encounter for this hospital environment. Now, we actually got a brief glimpse of this creature in a previous Little Nightmares 2 trailer, as shown on screen here. As you can see, he appears to be a giant worm or caterpillar, fused with the upper torso, arms and head of a human. His teeth stick out over large chewed up gums, his eyes are wide and red, and his head wrinkled and balding. Without doubt, the most terrifying enemy we have yet seen in this nightmarish world. This creature is known as the Doctor, and recently publisher Bandai Namco shed some light on his role in the game. The hospital is home of the Doctor and his patients, each one a collection of clattering parts that lurch after anything unusual in the environment. Save your sympathy, these hypochondriacs willingly came to the hospital in search of a medical solution for the boredom infecting their lives. So the Doctor did what he could, taking away some bits and adding others as his artistic sensibilities saw fit. And once the process had begun, it's not as if the patients could voice a complaint. It might seem like a benign system, but the search for self-improvement through medical intervention requires fresh treatments to keep the patients satisfied that they're getting cutting-edge care. That's the fate in store for our little visitors if they get caught wandering the wards. So it seems as though the mannequins were indeed once human and contained the organs of the Doctor's patients, reanimated into a new form of wretched existence. It seems likely the Doctor will hang from the ceiling, meaning he will have an aerial view of the entire environment, and this will make sneaking from cover to cover when he isn't looking absolutely imperative. At the end of a demo, we see this boss chasing Mono and Six through a tall environment full of beds, which hang precariously from their bed sheets. Again, this is an area we have seen in trailers before, and is almost certainly how the duo escape this haunted hospital, the Doctor hot on their tails. We've spoken about gameplay and the monsters you will encounter within the hospital stage, so let's end with a look at a few secrets. The first secret can be found in this shower room. Simply head over to the far corner and pull back a box full of soap. This reveals an open vent shaft, which can be entered and leads us to a rather disturbing padded room. This room shows a body rotting in a bathtub full of guts as flies swarm above. Jars full of brains and organs can be seen atop a nearby table. It's a shocking sight, which gives us a window into just how mercilessly cruel the world of Little Nightmares really is. Here's a slightly more cheerful Easter egg. After escaping a mannequin horde and making our way to the hypnosis room here, you'll notice the hands seem to be reaching out for something. Nearby we locate a ball, and you guessed it, this ball can indeed be picked up and pitched at this mass of hungry appendages. Once caught, the mannequins will throw the ball right back at Mono, and we can partake in a horrifying game of catch. This final secret isn't really something we can miss, but it is interesting nonetheless. Towards the end of the demo, we enter this room where a series of creepy masks hang. The observant among you will notice that these masks are in fact replicas of those found on enemies within the original Little Nightmares. We see faces of Roger the janitor, the guests aboard the moor, and many more. This suggests, as we had previously theorised, that masks are made on the mainland and then shipped out to the moor, perhaps tailored from human skin by this creepy worm-like character. These masks are used to cover up the horrific deformities of those who inhabit this world, deformities which seem to be caused by broadcasts transmitted by the ominous signal tower. It seems Little Nightmares 2 is primed to answer some questions that lingered in our minds after the ending of its predecessor. Could this be a prequel after all? Are these masks ones which would eventually be worn by characters we are yet to encounter? So many questions, and I'm sure we'll be given answers to them in due time when Little Nightmares 2 releases on February 11th, 2021. But until then, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.